Oh. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in here. Hello, hello. Move this up a little bit. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Happy, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday? Happy Wednesday. Come and sit down. Come chit chat. I'm gonna finish up. I wouldn't say finish up, but I am about to. So I just opened up my wet palette after last night, and some of my colors did run, so I'm just gonna give them a little bit of a mixer here. Just kind of get the oils going in the paints or whatever, whatever it is that makes them painty. I might do this with like a little dotting tool. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Susan. Hey, Deborah. I put way too much water in my sponge last night because this is all messed up. So I'm just giving them a little bit of a mix. But as you can see, all of the rocks from last night are, all the paints from last night are still very moist, very wet. Come and join us, or I say us, come and join me. I'm just gonna finish mixing up my paint and then I'm gonna get into it because I know that a lot of people were just, kind of like watching the playbacks, weren't really painting along. So I'm gonna get the tedious part of the tutorial out of the way so that those of you that want to paint along can. Get that orange out of my white over here. Come over here. Don't start spreading into my white. All right, so give them a little bit of a mix through. Very, very watery today. I may or may not end up regretting this live because I was gonna wait until my son went down for a nap, but he is like, no, Mom, I don't want a nap. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna put on a movie and give you some tablet time right now. And I'm gonna get this done so that I can get these colors off my palette and I can go back to painting stuff that I wanna paint. So I'm going to start moving over this way. This is where we did, this is where we ended up last night. Try to adjust that. So do not stress if you didn't catch last night's live. I'm going to be uploading them to the YouTube, and then it's also pinned up at the top of the page. So if you have not watched part 1, this tutorial ain't for you. So I'm going to go in with some, this color that we mixed last night. It's just orange, a little bit of the neon orange, some yellow, I believe is what we used. Mom, yes? I want a baba. Where is your bottle? What is Betty? I'm painting a pumpkin with a black cat. You see that? Oh, that's cute. Isn't he so cute? Yeah. He's so cute. And I like his ears. You do? And I have ears. You do have ears. Yeah, I do have the ears. I told y'all. I mean, this is going to either go really great. No, oh, my goodness. Okay. Oh, I got to fill it up. Hold on. Baba break. Give me a second. Well, come on, bud. You almost ran over me. I'm sorry. It's okay. are decorating for Halloween. That's what all of these decorations are for.
All of these decorations are to Halloween stuff.
Yeah, all of the pumpkins and all of the fall leaves and stuff, all of the oranges and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to Halloween stuff.
Okay, here you go. It's a little bit cold. Are you sure you don't want to go take a nap?
No. I just want a Baba with no taking.
Okay, are you going to take this blanket to your playroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like my movie.
Okay. I love you, bud.
I love you.
Sorry, guys. My son. All right, so let's go in with some orange, just regular orange. I know I have 2 oranges on my palette, but I mean, you don't really have to have that many colors. I just like to go back and honestly, they both look the same to me. I'm using cadmium orange hue and vivid red orange, and one of them is supposed to be a little bit brighter, but they both look the same to me. And let's start shading down here too, which I'm gonna go in with some of the burnt sienna. Thanks, guys. Yeah. He is a hoot. I don't know what he's gonna say sometimes. So he's just like his mother. He's a little bit of a firecracker, and he will say some weird stuff sometimes, and I'm like, don't say that in public. So I'm just filling it in. My paint is very, very watered down, so you're gonna see me doing a couple of layers here. I might even try to correct my shading over here and just kind of tap it in because I didn't like the way that was looking over here. And just using the moisture and the leftover paint on my brush to kind of bring that out. Maybe lay down some orange over here with some of the burnt sienna. You can mix it on your palette, or you can just go straight into it with it. Oh, I feel like we would have play dates, Jessica, if I was back home. Oh my God, Melissa, how funny. Yeah, my son is very much like that. He will say some stuff like that I'm like, stop talking right now. All right, I'm gonna go with just a little bit of regular brown, okay? So again, I listed all the colors yesterday that I was using. So go ahead and go watch part 1 because I'm not gonna repeat myself 100 times. And then let's lighten up this side, because remember where your light is coming in, always be mindful of that. I think that makes a really big difference in paintings. The light's gonna be hitting this little ridge right here. So I'm gonna use just a smidge of the neon yellow. You don't have to do this part if you don't have the neons, but I've found that this really just makes the whites pop. And I'm just gonna lay that color down. Kind of use some of the moisture in the brush to kind of pat it out. Excuse me. My voice keeps going in and out. I feel like I've been trying to recover like fully 100% from this like illness for a while now. And like I'm good, like I feel good, but I have not been able to get rid of like the cough and the phlegm, and it's kind of annoying, but that's fine. Let's go in with just a little bit of this yellow. I believe that what I did yesterday was mixed a little bit of orange, a little bit of the yellow, and some white. And that gave me like a really bright, like almost pastel orange color. And I'm just gonna tap it in here. I'm not gonna fully go down to the edge over here, but I'm just lightening this up. Very gently, just tapping my color in. My paints are very watered down. I almost wanna let them dry out for a little bit. Honestly, that's sometimes what I do is I will grab my palette when they're wet like this and I'll just leave it open for maybe like 30 minutes. Let them harden up a little bit. And you're just gonna have to look at your pumpkin that you are painting and add in color as you see fit to shade it in. So right there, I just went in with a little bit of orange to darken it up just a smidge. And I'm gonna come down here and add in my color again. This is very watered down. I should have let it dry before going live. It's okay, when you gotta go, you gotta go, right? And then maybe mix in some orange into it. And I'm just mixing my color on the rock, okay? Which is a habit that I have started to do. I don't know why I am this way, but I am. All right, so this one over here, I'm gonna go in with a little smidge of black and a little bit of brown. And I'm gonna create a deep line here. And it doesn't look very dark because, like I said, my paints are watering, but it's supposed to be a dark line, okay? You can see the brown, you can see the black. And let's start pushing that color out. I'm gonna go in with some orange. And you can mix this on your palette or mix it on the rock. It's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm just gonna do mine straight on the rock because it's just easier for me sometimes. And then I'm gonna add in just regular plain orange up here from the top and blend it down. These paints are really starting to bother me. I might have to do a whole new palette prep. They're too wet. My paints are too fluid today. That's okay, just work with me. Stick it out. I'll just have to do multiple layers. All right, some brown and some orange. Kind of like an ugly Tootsie Pop color, right? Just laying my color down. I'll come back in and do a second shading of it. And then we're gonna go in full brown over here. Adding some black in to create my little line crease and dragging that color down. I'm gonna blend that into the brown. I know my paints are a mess today. Who was it yesterday that, I think it was Jane. Jane was like asking if I ever have those days where nothing seems to be going right and I'm like doubting my ability to paint. Today is one of those days. I told you I have those days every day. Every painting that I do, I'm like, well, what am I doing? Why does this look like such a mess? All right, let that dry out for just a second. I'm gonna start basing in my little stem over here, which I'm gonna go in with brown. Try to be a little bit careful with my little ridges. And honestly, I did get asked about brush preferences. Like people who want to know specific brushes and brush names and brush sizes to use during my tutorials, and I wish that I was like somebody big like Joni Young, you know, who has like the knowledge and the talent to know about brushes and sizes and stuff like that, but I am not. I am a very messy painter. I'm not a teacher. I mean, I have my degree in teaching, but I am not an art teacher. I'm just a mom that likes to paint. So sometimes I just, you know, I go with what I feel is right. There is not going to, you know, somebody might really enjoy fine lining with, you know, a really expensive, I don't know, like Winsor & Newton brush or something, right? But for me, you know, cheap little eyeliner brushes off of Amazon are my go-to. So it's really just your preference for your painting. There is no right or wrong way to use a specific brush, a specific size. You just do whatever you feel right. You know, if you want to use a flathead brush, to fill in your color and that's easier for you, then go ahead and do that. This brush is just honestly the first thing that I could grab, and I like it. It's, you know, it flattens out so that if I want to blend using the side of my brush, I can manipulate the brush pretty easily. If I want to make it a round brush, 2 seconds and there we have it. If I want, this is not good for texture because it'll come in, you know, it's too pointy. For texture, you want a way scruffier brush like this. This actually used to look just like this, and now it looks like this. So that's how we make friends. There we go. See, I couldn't tell you that, Jane. I don't know. I don't know what the brushes with the long skinny ends are for. I genuinely don't. Are you talking about like this? I don't know what it's for. I wish that I could be more knowledgeable about that. I truly do. Okay, so before I get into that, I'm trying to see how I'm gonna approach this next part of the painting. I'm gonna dry it out and then I'm gonna layer it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna mute this real quick so that I don't have the blow dryer, the heat gun. I say blow dryer, the heat gun sound onto the microphone. Hold on. Oh, trying to dry my paints out too. Oh my god. Okay. All right, so that took a really long time to dry off. Let's go back in with some of that color again. Layer it in. And the reason I'm layering it in is because I want to get rid of all of these ugly little crevices that I've missed, right? I'm gonna go with some orange up here at the top again and blend it down. I'm gonna go in with my black over here on the side, and that's a little bit too dark, so actually scratch that and go in with some brown instead. Do the same technique that we did over here, except now we're coming over this way. Using the side of your brush to Get rid of any harsh lines. Try to make the blend a little bit smoother. And go in. And then over here, we are going to go in with our brown and our burnt sienna again for a second layer. You okay? Okay, like the most dramatic cough ever, and he's just like, yeah. Is anybody else's kid like really dramatic? My son is he's such a character, man. He's dramatic in the best way, though. All right, so wait for this to dry up a little bit. Bring that black line back out. If you have a baby blue, go ahead and grab that color. Let me grab mine. Okay, so I'm going to be using this light blue, ultra matte, just a little bit on your palette. And I'll show you what we're going to do with it right now in just a minute. But over here, I'm going to fill in my little stem once again. I'm having paint issues today. And I'm spending too much time. I'm going to just end up putting more paint over my paint. Hold on. This is too much. It's too wet. Here's my brown. I'm almost out of my orange. God, I'm running out of a lot of paints that I didn't realize I was running out of. Okay. Jennifer! Jen! Hey, Heather! All right, so I'm gonna grab some orange, some brown, smidge of golden yellow, and I'm gonna go in with some white. Mix, mix, mix. This is the color we're aiming for, the same one that I did last night, sort of. And we're going to line this pumpkin stem. Taking off the excess because I have way too much. And I'm going to create some lines in the brown while it's still wet so that it gives it a little bit of texture to the stem. And you want to go in with a little bit more brown over here. Maybe we want to go in with just plain white. Not too much, okay? Just on certain parts, kind of highlight and give it a realistic type of feel over here. And just so that you differentiate this section of where the stem ends and the darkness begins over here, I'm going to create a fine line very lightly like that. And then maybe we want to just kind of create the top shape up here. I'm just tapping in the color, grabbing some brown and giving it a little bit of an edge. I am putting the brown in between where the light khaki brown ends, like that. So we're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, so you guys, I think what I'm gonna end up doing is getting rid of this bottom chunk. Let me just grab my pencil if I can find it. I have so many pencils. I couldn't find my eraser either. Isn't it funny how you use your stuff and it's all on your desk, and then you kind of just like, it just goes away? Like, where do all of my things that I regularly use go? They just get hidden. All right, so just like giving it this much space so that, yeah, I like that better because you can see the top ridge here. We're just winging it as we go, okay, guys? I'm gonna get a little napkin for my coffee because it's sweating over there. Papa, you okay? Okay. Okay, bud. He's like a little Mr. Independent. All right. So let me see how I'm gonna tackle this part next. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This orange over here, this very bright, vivid orange, which I believe was orange, golden, yellow, a little smidge of the neon orange, and just a little tiny bit of white, maybe? That sounds about right. And I'm going to paint my sections in here. We're working on it piece by piece, okay? So while this is drying, I'm gonna layer my first color over here. And then we'll come back and fix and shade and blend. If ever you needed a tutorial about blending and shading, this is gonna be the one. Once I'm here, I'm gonna grab some of the burnt sienna and I'm going to put it in about halfways. And I'm trying to get it while the bottom layer of paint is still wet so that it blends a little bit nicer. Remember last night I talked about wet on wet blending is, I wouldn't say it's the best because like I said, I'm not a pro. Everybody has their own blending methods, but it's the easiest way that I've found. Start to deepen it. All right, so this is mostly dry. I'm gonna grab some of that baby blue that I asked y'all to get earlier. And this is what we're gonna do, okay? A little bit of white, add a little bit of white to it. Just a little smidge. I'm gonna flip my thing around over here. And I'm counting the last 3, okay? I'm gonna add it over here, wipe off your excess, and use the brush and the moisture that's already on the brush to drag your color out. Do it from the side. get rid of any harsh lines. Remember, you know how comfortable you are with however much water you want to leave on your brush. Mine is, it's pretty dry, but it's still a little bit, you know, wet from the water and the paint and etc. I don't want it to be sopping wet, in other words. And then once again, we use the edge of the brush, kind of drag that shading down. Let's keep it going, maybe a little bit further this time, since the bottom ones are so dark. And you'll notice that when I'm grabbing my paint, I'm not dipping it directly in and going straight to it, okay? It's not what we're doing. We're just dragging off a little tiny bit. Maybe adding some white. My brush is not sopping wet. I'm tapping off the excess. I always tap off the excess to any painting that I'm doing because it just makes it easier. And we're going to, I'm gonna lightly kiss the water. And what I mean by kiss the water is just kind of dip it in. Lightly kiss the water and drag the rest of the color that's on the brush down. Wipe off the excess. Try to work a little bit fast so that your paint doesn't dry, because look, my paint up here is already starting to dry and it's a little bit harder to scrub that harsh line out, right? To create a nice soft blend. So you'll see that I'm just using this kind of back and forth motion to kind of soak up any leftover moisture. If you have to, go back in, dip your brush into the paint. You want it to be like a very watered down version. Because if you just go in with a straight line and you're just like, here's my shading, see how that kind of just like, it takes it from being like a realism type of painting to like a, okay, we did a cartoon harsh line. And there's nothing wrong with cartoon harsh lines. But that's not the vibe that we're trying to go for, and that's not what you're spending all of this time watching this tutorial for. If you're here, it's either because you are trying to improve yourself as an artist by actually practicing. And if you don't want to like implement the techniques or the tips and tricks, then that's fine too. But you know, your art is it's just gonna stay the same. And drag that out maybe till about right there. Try to get as much of the paint and the water off as I can, and very lightly doing some quick strokes, going over that final line to try to get rid of it. So this is where we're at so far with our pumpkin, away from the glare of the light. What do y'all think? How is it coming along? All right, I'm gonna go in with some brown and put in some of those lines that I had earlier, that we had pencil sketched in. I don't know that this one makes any sense. Whatever. Don't judge me. All right. Oh my God. All right. So now that we're here, paint is still a little bit wet. I'm gonna drag down and shade into this little section over here using the side of my brush. Just trying to get rid of harsh lines. Make the blend a little bit smoother. And then I'm gonna mix up a little bit of the brown with some of the burnt sienna. There we go. And sort of outline this a little bit deeper. And if you are sort of a slow painter, maybe you want to just do one section at a time and start deepening in that shading. Do it one at a time. That's totally acceptable. I know a lot of the issue that people have sometimes is not being able to keep up. But remember that this is going to have a playback for you to watch at your own convenience and leisure. What are you doing, bud? Oh, okay, go potty.
Well, why do you got those?
Why do I have what?
Those nice.
Because it's decorations, my love.
It's not real.
No, they're not real. I missed a little spot over here that I'm realizing.
It's not. It's just real.
And I'm just gonna add a little bit of the blue over here. There we go. Don't forget to wash your hands.
I don't need to.
Yes, you do.
I don't want to.
You don't want to wash your hands?
I don't have germs on my hands.
You do have germs on your hands. You wash your hands every time you go to the restroom, my love. Do you remember how we were all sick for like 3 weeks? Do you remember? Yeah, let's get those hands washed. It's like a fight with him every time to wash his hands. It drives me nuts. I'm very upset about it. Oh, there it is. Hold on, guys. What's wrong? What's wrong?
I want to wash my hands.
You want mommy to wash her hands with you?
No.
You want me to show you?
No.
Do you want some hand sanitizer instead?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do some hand sanitizer then.
I don't grab it.
Yeah, because you don't want to be grubby. Here.
It will stay on forever.
No, it's not going to stay on forever. That's why we always have to be washing our hands. All right. Thank you. Mom life. All right. Let's go in with this very pastel looking orange. And I'm going to create some diagonal lines on some of these, okay? Letting the light come in just a little bit and blending it out. And then maybe we want to do some of that light up here. And blend it out. Remember that your squigglies are probably going to look different than mine because obviously we are not machines. We're not going to just copy and paste it. So just look at yours. Take the time to really stop and think when you're looking at your squigglies. Like, okay, how is this pumpkin carved? Like, you're looking at your pumpkin. Look at where the light would hit. And if you want to line every single one of them, then, I mean, go ahead and do that too. Okay, so now that we're here, we're going to start to sketch the cat. So let me see how I'm going to teach this. Give me a second. Let me maneuver my head around this. So I know for sure that my cat head is going to be somewhere up here, right? I'm going to give myself some guides. Obviously, the cat head should not be past these two little marks here because we don't want it to be blocked out by the pumpkin. So I've got a triangle that we're going to start to shape into a cat. Let me see what's the easiest way to teach this. Maybe like using a circle. Let me see how big the circle is. No, too little. Okay, that's about right. All right, I'm gonna use something as a guide for myself to draw a circle. Your circle doesn't have to be perfect, so if you want to eyeball it, go ahead and eyeball it. And I'm trying to, first of all, this was my school pencil, so it's got the big egg on it. I'm trying to make sure that my circle matches with my first dot up here. I'm giving myself some space from here to here because I want to make some room for the ears. Once you have your circle, okay, sorry guys, my phone died. I'm back. Okay, it should have brought me right back in. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that my phone was about to die. So, just plugged it in. Give it a couple seconds for people to come back in. So, once I'm here, I got my circle. Oh, hold on, I lost my inspo pick. Ooh. I'm going to curve out around here and curve out around here. Maybe not so much. Maybe I want to reel it in just a little bit. And we're shaping our cat. And then just start working your cat and rounding it off. Once I'm here, maybe about the halfway mark from where your circle was, not the fattening portion of it, but just like around here. And maybe you want to go around here and meet up to get your ears. And this ear is going to be hidden by the pumpkin, which is fine because he technically is inside the pumpkin. It looks a little batty, but that's okay. And then we're going to draw our little section where he's got pink in his ears. And then from here, the section where we did stretch it out a little bit, and give yourself a little halfway point. And to give yourself like a little bit of a straight line. I'm gonna tilt that just a little bit. There we go. Let's see. We're gonna do a nose. There's your nose. Maybe you want to start marking off just a little tiny section where your eyes are going to be. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see. And let's meet up at the halfway point where the eyes begin again. And all of this is just so that you guys have an easier vantage point to kind of draw your eyes instead of kind of eyeballing it and then you're like, oh, my eyes they look crooked or they look off. So you're giving yourself your planes, right? Just like a regular sketching tutorial. I'm gonna start here and go up. And I'm gonna create a sort of like a egg shape, like the top of an egg. Meet down here and round out those corners. So I went a little bit above my line. Meet yourself back up. Let me make sure that, hold on, let me look at it because I want to make sure that my eyes are not all wonky. All right, so here we go. Maybe lower that just a little bit. All right. From here, I'm going to create a little mouth. And then we're going to add in the eyeballs. And I'm just gonna sort of eyeball it. I want to leave just a tiny bit of space up here. And of course, some space down at the bottom. And then I'm gonna draw a guide for myself that this is where my shading is gonna go, my area. This is where the eyebrows are gonna go, okay? A little bridge for the nose. And a little under the eye highlight. And then this rest of the portion is gonna be black. I'm going to draw a little circle here, kind of like an oval shape. And I'm gonna make this dark so that you guys can see. I don't usually sketch this dark, but they don't have to be even looking. This is not way too wide. And the little arms, okay? So there we go. I'm going to fill my background in because we are doing fur. If you watched my tutorials before, you know why we always put in the background first. Background is going to be some orange, some burnt sienna, and maybe just a little bit of brown. I want the brown, but I also want the orange tint in it. So keep mixing your colors until you get right about that color. And fill in your background. And yes, I'm probably gonna put in a second coat. What was that, bud? Okay, he's like whispering like an incantation or something over there. So first coat down. As I go in with my second coat, I'm going to mix up a little bit more paint over here. I'm going to work piece by piece because I am going to be doing some darkening blend. Remember, if you are a little bit of a slower painter, it's okay to work it section by section.
What's that?
What was that?
This is me.
So I have, it's the same technique that we did over here, where we did not rinse our brush off, and we are just using the side of the brush. I dipped it into just regular brown, and I'm pulling the background inside the pumpkin. So I laid my color down, rinsed my brush off. I'm gonna be using the side to blend those two colors together. Bring it in, drag it in. Work that paint. Have you guys seen that meme of, I don't know what his name is, but he's like this, I don't know if he's like a man or like a teenager, but it's that little boy. Well, he's not even a little boy because he's an adult. It's the little boy that's like sitting there eating, and he's just like eating a bag of chips, and then he stops, and then he keeps eating. You guys seen that one? I feel like that's what everybody's doing right now, just watching me. All right, so what did I say about overworking your paint? Because that's basically what I'm doing right now. The paint is too wet, so it's picking up from the bottom. And we don't want that. And just work the paint back and forth. Until you're happy with your blend. All right. So let's lay some of that color back down again over here in this little section between his ears. And some brown up here at the top. And it's gonna be very gradual. You won't really like see that much of a difference, but that's the point, is we're not going in with just straight black, you know, and making it like a harsh line, because that's not what you're trying to do. See the difference between the brown and the red, the brown and the red brick tone is what I should say, because it's not red. It's the dark red mixture we made. And same thing. Rinsed my brush, tapped off the excess, and using the side of my brush to bring that color down. Be nice to your paint, be nice to your brush. Don't get all crazy with it and start yelling at it if it's not blending the way that you want it to. Sometimes if you're getting frustrated because your paints aren't cooperating or something's not cooperating in your painting, just take a breath from it, take a step, and come back to it. Get yourself a drink, coffee, do some breathing, stretch, All right, so here we go. I'm gonna actually put some black here because this line is bugging me. It's just kind of there to deepen that. Okay. All right, so for the ears, I'm gonna grab my red that I put down yesterday, sort of mix it around because some of the water and the paint is mixing a bit. There we go. So grabbing some of my red and just adding a tiny smidge of black, okay? See, that's too much black. But the good thing about mixing colors is that you can always add your colors back in. So this is the color that I'm going for. It's like a very deep maroon burgundy type of color. It makes me feel like a vampire. Laying my color down into the ear. Like that. I'm gonna wait for this to dry up just a little bit, but I don't have patience, so let me try to use a little bit of a Hika. I don't want it to be fully dry, but right now it's way too wet. All right, so dry it off just a little bit, and then I'm going to grab, what's up, Betty? You want a snack? Okay, can you give me 2 minutes because I'm gonna blend this ear and then I'll go get you a little snack.
Oh,
You like it?
yeah, I do like it. I like his eyes. He's looking at me.
Well, we haven't painted that part yet, Bill. They can't see the computer screen. I learned to stop sharing my inspiration photo because
I don't like Lucy.
People got on me the last time for not doing it exactly like the inspiration photo.
Are you growing the grass first?
Yeah. Look.
And then you will grow the pumpkin?
Well, we already drew the pumpkin. Now we're drawing the cat. I added just a little bit of white, but my son is distracting me, so let me just add that color back in. I want it to be like a pink color, so scratch that part. I might go in with neon red instead, okay? So just grab like the brightest red that you can if you don't have the neons. And I'm just using one of the blending brushes from Wanda's shop. These are amazing to sort of tap in from the top. Man, it was too wet. See, this is an example of waiting until your paint dries, because if you keep going, you're just gonna keep picking up that bottom paint, okay? So, hold on, let me just let this dry. My son came in and my mind got all scrambled. I'm gonna lay my color back down. This is the red and black mixture, okay? Hold on just a second, I'll be right back. Mommy's on snack duty. Papa, what do you want? What would you like? Do you want a yogurt?
Oh, yeah. Yogurt.
Yum.
I want the black one.
The what?
Black one.
Well, we only have this one. Look, we don't have the Papa Joe one. Oh, yeah, we do. Here.
That was. That was so good.
Oh, so good. So yum.
Is that Marshall?
No. I think this is
Zuma.
Zoom. Okay.
Zuma. It is Zuma.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fruit tastes like strawberry.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry, mommy's on snack duty. Okay, So I laid my color down, right? The black and red mixture. And I'm gonna go in with some of the neon and just lightly tap it in the center. And I say lightly because my paint is still way too wet, so I don't want to keep picking it up. Let's do this. Keep picking up my paint. All right, I'm gonna listen to my own advice and I'll come back to it, right? So now that we are here, I'm going to start laying down black inside of my cat. So around the eye, right up until about here, we're just laying in some straight black. And then we're going to come around up here at the top as well. Lay down some black around the eyes. This part, it does not have to be precise. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to stress yourself out about this part because this is all going to be covered with fur anyway. Remember, we're just laying down our base work for shading, for the fur. You always want to have a base color before you layer your fur. Like that. And then I think I want to add some shading up here around the eye. Maybe we'll drag this out around here. Are we winging it as we go? Yes, yes we are. Yeah, I stopped putting, so this is my own design. I did this on the AI app, and so the reason that I stopped showing my inspiration pics, like, you know how like Wanda and Katie, like when they're gonna go live, they'll put like a picture of what they're doing under their event. I stopped doing that because the last time that I did that during the mouse tutorial, that tutorial was already like 5 hours long, with just the mouse and the umbrella, the flower umbrella alone. And people got a little bit upset with me because I didn't do the flowers that were surrounding it. Like they expected me to do exactly what the inspiration image was. I don't have the time to do that. Like, I just don't. That tutorial already took 5 hours to do. And adding in all of those little extra details would have taken probably like another 3, if I'm being honest. Because I do have to stop and wait for people to catch up. And I just don't have the time to, I just don't want to, you know, like who's going to want to take 8 hours of their time out of the day to do a tutorial for free, you know? Like, I love doing them for free, don't get me wrong, but I also, like, I value my time just like I value y'all's time. And so that's why I stopped showing the inspiration pictures, because then people will nitpick and be like, you didn't do this, like, on the picture, or you didn't do that. And I'm like, well, I'm doing what I can do in the short amount of time that I can. So, take it or leave it. These tutorials are not mandatory, for sure. I'm going to mix up a little bit of a gray and fill in the rest of my cat. And the reason that I'm not just doing it all black is because I'm trying to visualize for myself where the lighter fur pieces are going to come in so that they stand apart from the black. Maybe add a little bit more white. Underneath the eye and around here. And let's go in with some black here on the paw, the arm. And if you want to, I'm going to fill this chest in. If you want to kind of distance yourself from where the paw ends and the bottom like neck portion of the cat begins, then you can just add a little bit of white to your paw here. And give yourself a little guideline. And we're just adding in black. All right. Let me grab a fine liner. And I'm going to fill in the black portion of the eyeball. All right, I'm gonna let that dry up for just a second. I'm gonna fix this ear over here because I didn't fully color it in. And I'm gonna take a little break. Hey Jackie. Hey Anita, Wanda. Hi Luz. Okay. So, let me fix my ears over here because they're looking a little raggedy. I'm just tapping in some of that neon red. I'm going to try a different approach. I'm going to tap in the red and then I'm going to tap in the red and black mix around it. Oh, yes. Okay. That's the trick. So I'm tapping in. And tapping in around it, okay? Like that. All right. Let me zoom in over here. I'm a little kitty cat. So I'm going to grab, I think I might actually just keep using the same round brush that I've been doing. I'm going to work some of the white into that gray mix for a very, very light gray. I don't want it to be like exactly white because I do want it to sort of stand out a little bit. And I'm just gonna create a little line right here. I'm gonna kind of tap it. I'm not blending out, but if you want to use a fine liner, you can. Actually, that's probably better. To create tiny little fur hairs here on his ear. And you don't have to do like little strokes, you could just do little taps. Like that. And give him a little bit of a fuzzy look. And I'm gonna just lightly line the outside over here. And I say lightly because you don't want to go in with straight white like this little section. It'll look off a little bit. I've rinsed my fine liner, and I'm gonna use the rollout method to get a fine point. I've talked about that plenty of times. And I'm just gonna create a couple of small ear hairs. Okay, baby, go put it in the trash. Oh, okay, you are. Sorry. Just a couple of little ear hairs like that. Now, I'm going to grab some baby blue onto my brush, use the rollout method to get rid of the excess. And maybe like this little sliver right here. This is where I'm going to start to create some fur strokes. You want to get your fine liner as you know, thin as you can get it. And I'm just doing quick short strokes. And then once I reach the edge, I'm actually going to rinse my brush, wipe off the excess, and grabbing some white, I'm going to have some of those hairs sticking out over here on the side. I'm going to curl them out. Remember, we are doing fur. I have done a lot of tutorials on fur, where I do give plenty of tips on how to get your brush as fine as you can. You can cut your eyeliner brushes down, thin them out, make sure that the paint that you're using is wet. Okay, we do want fluid paints. We do not want thick, chunky paints. Add some water to your paints if that's all that you have. Because fur, I have found, just works better if it's a little bit wet. Okay. So now that we are here, what we're going to do is, I forgot to draw his little eyebrows in. So I'm going to create a little eyebrow here. And a little eyebrow here. You kind of eyeball it, see if it's mixy matchy. So this color that we mixed over here, this tan orange color, that's the same color that we are going to use for the eyeball. Okay, I know kind of everywhere, but remember what I said, while we are working on letting other pieces of the painting dry, you can be working on something else. Such as the eye, fixing your shading up on, you know, other pieces of the pumpkin, etc., etc. So there's the first eye. Now, my paints are wet. I'm going to go in with some of the burnt sienna, which is that brick red color. And I'm going to shade in up here at the top. Because my paint is wet, it's going to be a little bit of a smoother blend. Maybe about right here is where I want to stop. And then my paint dried over there, so I'm going to add some of that. I guess this color is yellow ochre that I mixed that I could have just used. I don't know why I am this way. All right, so same thing. Taking the burnt sienna. And we are blending it in over here. Grabbing some brown, just regular brown. Blending it in into the white yellow ochre color that we mixed, giving him some shading around the eyeball. And we are also going to go in with some white. Okay. Well, my paint is already dry, so I'm going to lay down a fresh little strip here and go in with some white around the eye. The bottom of the eye. And blend it down. Okay, hold on. I have to lift this because I cannot see what I'm doing. Blend it down. Make it as smooth as you can, okay? I went too far up into the black. But that's okay because stuff like that can be fixed. All right. Here's what we are at with the eyeball so far. I'm gonna straighten, I'm gonna now clean up my edges. Line it, line the bottom, because this bottom portion is gonna be different because we are gonna have fur here. So there's one eyeball. Almost done. We're not done with the actual eye itself yet, but I'm gonna start laying the color down over here. So the khaki color, I'm gonna add white to it. I still want that hint of khaki in there, but it needs to be a lot lighter because this eye is the one that's getting hit with the light the most, okay? So instead of shading in with the burnt sienna, I'm gonna actually use the original khaki color. For shading on this eye. Okay. And then I am gonna add white to this, which it's not gonna make too much of a difference, but it will separate, just give it a little bit of separation between the light color and the white that we used. And then I'm gonna round this eye corner out because it's bugging me. Clean up your edges. Line the bottom. Okay, so far, this is where my eyes are at, right? They're different, but similar, sort of. So now that this eyeball is dry, I'm gonna grab some of that original khaki color, this one right here. I'm going to tap off the excess. I want like barely any paint on my brush, okay? And I'm gonna create sort of two lines right along the edge. Like this. And then I'm gonna create a little circle up here with the rest of the paint that's on my brush. Rinse off my brush, and then the wetness that's on the brush I'm gonna use to sort of scrub it out. Make it look a little bit like a water spot on the eye, okay? And leave it alone, we'll come back to finish it. Oh my God, now my computer's about to die. Okay, it's at 10%. Somebody send me a message in about like 5 minutes reminding me to switch the charger from my phone to the laptop, okay? Not send me a message, but leave me a comment because I'll see that faster. All right. If anybody's still watching, is anybody even watching? Hello? Everybody's so quiet. All right, I'm gonna go in with some gray on the eye. Leave a little line right here. And then the khaki color, right? Got it on my brush, tapping off the excess. We're gonna do the same little bubble, kind of meet yourself across the line here. Using the water to kind of spread it out, make it look like a little water spot. Actually, if you even wanted to like dip your brush into water, dip it into the paint, make it very watered down, and you wanted to like just leave the drop and do that, you can totally do that and get away with it too. And then let that dry. Okay, so I'm gonna start to work this fur in, okay? Khaki color, it's the same thing. Adding just a little smidge of brown to darken it up, just a little bit, not a ton. We're going for like an ashy brown color right here, okay? Roll your tip, get off any of the excess paint. Right where the black, this little space between the black and the eyebrow, I'm gonna start to put some brush strokes, fur strokes, I should say, very lightly. Let's zoom in over here. See, I can't ever see what I'm doing when I do this, so I'm sorry if it's starting to look a little raggedy. I might lighten that color up a little bit more so that you can see it more. All right, I'm gonna add just a little tiny bit of white to it to lighten it up, okay? I want like a really ashy tan color. I can't see what I'm doing. All right, so above the eyebrow, next, I'm gonna put my little fur strokes going up this way. Tapped off the excess, and I'm just using what's left on the brush to kind of give myself some fur, like this. And let's go again. I can't see what I'm doing. I was trying to be nice and zooming in, but I can't. I gotta be able to see. All right, so I'm gonna do the bridge of the nose. Oops. Just a couple of fur strokes here. And then same ashy color. Now we're gonna do some long strokes here, so. Very lightly, I mean, I'm barely grazing the rock, okay? Very, very lightly. Do that. Long strokes up like that. And I'm gonna grab some black and start to fill this little empty space here with some fur strokes over the gray. What I did here was I tried to bring the eye crevice a little bit in. I don't know if you can see it as well. Okay. Bear with me. Khaki color. Adding white to it so that you make yourself a little light mocha, or you can use the actual light mocha. Tapping out the excess. So these are going straight up. And notice the way that your fur is going to, okay? Because that's something that I have noticed with some people when they post their ending photo of any type of fur tutorial that I'm trying to do is that their fur just is all in the same up. It's just like up, okay? To prevent it looking like he's having a little bit of a bad hair day, you want to be mindful of which way your fur is going, okay? So the cat's face is not flat. You don't want to just have a whole bunch of up types of fur, right? The face curves because obviously he has a little round head. So examine your cat and think, okay, right about here where his eyebrow creases is where his forehead is gonna start to curve. The direction of your fur matters. Might not seem like it, but it truly makes a difference. You don't want him to look like he got electrocuted at the salon. You want him to look like he had a blowout, okay? So we're doing kind of like a little wave. And that's, you know, a tip that you can look at anytime that you're painting fur, and that you should be looking at anytime you're painting fur. Okay, so the further that we get this, I feel like I'm a teacher in a class, like, answer my questions, raise your hands. Lighten that up a little bit, I like that. So see, this is going this way, this is going up, this is, you know, spreading out around his face. As we start coming this way, we're gonna start to go up, and then we're gonna start to turn, okay? So here we are. And remember that the cat is angled up too. Look at the way that your subject is facing. He's facing up outside of the pumpkin, right? So we're curving around, bringing it around town. Okay, my son is going to the restroom again. He's like sort of newly potty trained, so he has this weird obsession with like wanting to be a big boy and go to the restroom a lot. Like just because he can, you know, like, you know how sometimes as adults we have to learn to hold the restroom? He's just like, I feel like I have to pee just a little bit. I'm gonna go to the restroom. And we're just bringing that out all the way across. Go and bring your fur into the black so that you get rid of that harsh line that we did when we first started. And also make sure that your eyebrows are sort of matching, okay? Okay. So as we start to come out, I'm going to stop swooping this way, and I'm going to start swooping into the cheek. Right? Because the cheek, he's got a little chubby cheek. Curve it around his cheek. Curve this way, curve that way. Like that. Once I get here, I'm going to do shorter, darker strokes. And the reason that I say darker is because we've been light up until this point, right? We're going to go in slowly and start to lighten up this little piece of his cheek. And these strokes I do want to make a little bit shorter because it is that little nuzzle portion of him. So he doesn't have a lot of long hair on his nuzzle, right? He's not as fluffy there. little snout. And then we're going to do the same over here. Maybe I want to use the darker version of that tan. And start to put the little fur strokes around here, okay? Very short. Fix up the rest of the cat in just a second. And then we are just going into the black here. Under and around his eye, okay? Like that. Okay. So, I'm gonna stop for a second and I'm gonna add some black in here because I missed that. I'm gonna grab some coffee, something to drink. Oh my God, hold on, let me check my laptop battery. 8%, okay. So far, this is what we got. See the fur? Fine brush strokes. Eyeliner pencils. Amazon, your best friends. They will be your best friends. Okay. I'm gonna grab some white. Laying it down. Spreading it around. And I'm just tapping it so that we still get some of the glow from behind, but we also have the actual, what is this? The actual white glimmer portion of the eye, okay? Just rubbing off the, tapping off the excess and then tapping around the white to kind of spread it out so that it's not just like a circle, you know? So from here, I'm gonna lay down, now that I've got the shading around my little kitty nose, I'm gonna take some time to actually paint my nose in. And we're not done working our fur, okay? We're still gonna add a second layer of dark shading around it. But I'm gonna show you the easier way to do that. Instead of, you know, sitting here and doing like individual brush strokes, we're gonna just shade it. Which kind of is a little bit of a lifesaver sometimes. So from here, I'm going to grab some burnt sienna, some of that tan color, mix that up a little bit. My paint is still wet, which is okay because it's gonna give it more of like an easier blend in. Let me show you guys up here. I'm making a V in the nose, okay? This way you get two nostrils while still giving the nose a little bit of a shape to pull it forward. And then we're gonna add white in here at the top. So I added a little dot, and then I'm gonna use my brush to move the paint around, blend it in. Because the black underneath is still wet, it's gonna turn it into a nice little gray. You can't really see it that much on. Can you see? Oh, we're turning it into a nice little gray, and we're just gonna keep lightening it up, okay? Keep tapping it in. That, and then maybe I want to drag some of that down here. Okay. Some of the light mocha color I'm gonna bring down here and leave a little dot there. So his little nose is starting to come to life, right? Now the ear, I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go in with, excuse me, some of the very, very light gray. Honestly, today was the day to do it because my son is actually like ignoring me, but he's been doing that a lot lately. He's in that sad like toddler stage where he's starting to realize that he doesn't need mommy as much, and so it's a little bit heartbreaking because I'm so used to like being smothered by my kids, you know, and now it's like he doesn't want to snuggle me, he doesn't want to hug me, he just wants to be in his own little world. And I'm like, hello, I'm still your mom. I still need love too. All right. So I'm going to grab my round brush. I'm going to dip it into the brown. And when I dipped it in, again, we're dragging it out so that it's a little bit wet for shading. And I'm going to deepen the ear over here. I'm just going to lay down a little bit of shaded brown. Just a little bit of the things that make a little difference. Is just maybe some shading here and there. Okay, so this eye is like bugging me because it's a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna grab some white and really bring out the rest of his little fur over here. And then don't forget that this is his little arm. So let's add some fur into that using the light mocha color. So right about here is where we're gonna stop, because that's just for the arm. And then let's use a little bit more white in that to lighten it up even more. And we're going to start to, oh, I didn't even pick up the paint. We're going to start to do little tiny strokes. Even little dots, if that's what you want to do, might be easier. Just tiny little tapping dots for the fur. Because now the fur is going to be coming, so the hand is like this, right? So this fur is poking out. And then you want to curve it down. So this fur that's poking out, when you're looking at it head on, you're only seeing little dots. And that's the reason that we're doing them. It's always about perspective. Painting is always about perspective. Always try to put yourself into the painting and really think like, what is it that I'm painting? Like, why is the fur going this way? Why is the cat, one eye is darker than the other? Because the light is hitting it. And once you start to like really think about your art like that, in the sense of like, okay, if I was looking at this in real life, what exactly am I looking at? Where is the fur going? And now we can get fluffiness going. We're not completely done with it though, okay? We still gotta go back and do lots of shading. I think I might actually be able to get this done in one sitting. What time is it? 12:46, yeah. Let's aim for done by 1:45. And then, okay, so this was the first paw. now that we're moving on, I'm going to go back into this tannish color. Tap off your excess. And let's go. Let's add in our fur over here. Remember, the closer that you get to over here, I'm just going to kind of dot it up. And this arm is way too in the back to even think about doing fur, but we still want to make it look a little bit realistic on that side. So I'm going to show you right now how to fix it up. And the reason that I'm able to do so many fur strokes without having to keep going back into the paint is because it is a very, very wet paint, very fluid. It matters. The difference in your acrylics matters. So like these are just the basic acrylics. They are a little bit heavier bodied. The paint is a lot thicker. So it does make it a lot harder to do finer things like that because your paint is going to dry a lot faster. So that's why we use fluid. That makes a big, big difference. So now that we are here, I am going to add some shading into my cat. Actually, don't forget the ear hair over here, the little strokes of black. Just a couple. Oh, and then the shading. Did I do the shading over there? Yeah, a little bit. And then using the same black, I'm gonna, since we did shade a little bit of white out here, I'm gonna just do a couple of black fur strokes. And I know it's something just so tiny, but it makes a difference. So now that we're here, I'm gonna start to water down some black. And what I mean by water down is I'm going to grab my black and I'm just going to grab some water from my little cup over here and really water it down. Now, I'm going to add some shading around the bridge of the nose. And the reason I like to really water it down is because if I was to go in with just full black, and then I paint over my stuff and it's too dark, then it's like, what the heck, I just ruined all of that fur work that I did, right? But if you water it down and you're like, okay, that's not dark enough, I'm gonna go in with a second layer. It's easier to add the second layer than it is to take off the darkness that you put in there. Does that make sense? Add some shading here. And make sure that you're getting rid of those water lines too, okay? Now, of course, remember that I am not the know-all, see-all of painting. So if you think that doing it a different, easier way, if you want to take the time to put in all of the individual little brush strokes in, you can definitely do that if that's what works for you. For me, I'm just like about saving time, convenience, ease. I'm going to shade around here, bring some shading around the nose, and bring some shading up into this fur. And the reason that I'm shading and not individually doing it is because, like I said, it's just a little bit easier. You're still adding color on top of those white lines that you already did. I'm gonna deepen this a little bit more since it's dry. Go in with a little bit of a second layer. Deepen the eyebrows. And if you're like, I don't feel comfortable doing this technique, I don't want to ruin it, my suggestion is to go back into my YouTube. I have tons of tutorials about blending, about shading, about watering your paint down, so that you can practice on a rock that you're not as invested in. Or if you want to do a practice rock, why don't you grab like a little river rocky, paint it black before you paint your cat, right? Go in with your paint and practice your brush strokes, do your brush strokes, and then practice your shading on the rock, on your practice rocks. I'm gonna keep going in with the black. Until I'm happy with my shading. Okay. So for this little kitty cat, we're just missing some whiskers, which we will add in just a minute. And then what I'm gonna also do is back here, we still have to create our pumpkin lines, right? So I'm just gonna go in with some brown and very lightly, because this is the background to the cat, so it's a little bit blurrier. You don't wanna go in with like some super heavy dark lines. And then last, well, not like last, you know what I mean, but next we're gonna mix up some black and brown mixture, and I'm gonna complete the shading down here, or at least add in my lines, because I didn't do that earlier. I said I was gonna fix the bottom and then I never did. Same technique, I'm just shading in. I'm gonna grab some brown and some black, water it down, and let's create this shadow where the kitty is leaning over the pumpkin. Build on that layer. And he's got a shadow. This is, his little kitty paws are sticking down. Like that. Now that this is sort of dry, I'm gonna grab my fine liner, use the rollout method, grab some plain white, do some whiskers. They don't all have to be straight. Maybe curve one. I'm not picking up any paint. Like that. Maybe he wants to have a couple loose hairs over here. Maybe his little eyebrows want to have a couple of white hairs. Right, because don't cats have like little eyebrow hairs? I don't have any cats, so I cannot attest to that, but I'm pretty sure they do, because every time I've painted them, they always have little eyebrow hairs up here. Maybe you want to fix the hair up here a little bit more. This is the time to tweak your cat, make it your own. I'm gonna turn my rock so that I can do my whiskers out. Yes, Luna. Can I help you? What do you want? Do you gotta go out? I closed the doggy door today because I was like, Bruno is gonna be barking nonstop. during this tutorial. So let me go open the dog door for them real quick. And I'm gonna take a little restroom break as well because that coffee is making me want to go. I will be right back, okay? Pause. Come on, let's go. Okay, go out. Don't start barking. Don't go out barking. Are you okay, buddy? It's a what? Well, that sounds cool. Mommy's gonna go to the restroom real quick, okay? Okay, I'm back. Is anybody still here? I've had like 6 viewers the entire time. I'm sorry, guys. I know it was a very impromptu live. Okay, so let me plug in my what is this, my laptop before this dies too. Hold on. All right, so little details now that we're going to be adding in is I'm going to go in with neon orange, neon yellow. If you don't have the neons, don't freak out. Don't be like, oh, here she goes again with her neons. I told y'all, they are a staple in my life. Just use the brightest orange and the brightest yellow you have with some white, not a biggie. And I'm going to line my cracks, my little crevices over here. Okay. We're gonna come do the same over here. Really just try to make it pop forward a little bit more. And this isn't even the fun part yet, guys. Wait till we glitterize this. So I'm gonna add just a smidge more white to that color combo so that it's barely got any of the neon in it, but so that it pops out just a smidge, okay? And we're gonna do the same over here and just line around the top. And this also helps to clean up your painting in case you have any leftover pencil markings. Maybe I want to do a little bit of just the neon yellow and white the higher up I go, because that is where the light is going to be hitting the most. There goes Bruno. Can't ever have a live without Bruno. Just barking at Lord knows what. I'm going to stop there because the rest of it is, you know, dark. What I'm also going to do, which you don't have to do, but just to give it a little bit more glow, is I'm going in just straight with neon red. And I'm gonna do just a couple of lines here and there, just to give it a little bit of a different color tone, a little bit of a different glow. Just straight neon red here and there. Not too many, but it does make a little bit of a difference, right? So this is where we're at so far. Now, let's take care of this floor, this flooring. Clean up your pumpkin edges. Clean up your lines. And then I'm going to create some flooring lines. You can use a ruler if you want, or you can just eyeball it. Probably better if you use, probably better if you use a ruler so that you're not like, oh, this looks a little bit wonky. You can do your lines individually for this part, or you can grab a scruffy, Fred brush. I feel like I haven't said Fred brush this entire time. And it just shows how long it's been since I've done a tutorial. I'm trying to look for a good one. One that has like a ton of just really messed up bristles. I have one, but I know I have a better one. Maybe I don't. Okay, so I got this little booger here, right? He's a mess. He's had a rough life. He needs a little bit of loving today. We're gonna give him some love. And I'm gonna grab brown, tap off the excess. And I like this brush because it has a whole bunch of tiny little bristles, which are gonna be perfect for texture on the wood. And I'm very lightly going in from the top. I'm not slamming it down on the side, not causing big chunky waves. We're going in from the top, and we're making sure that we don't have a ton of paint on. Tap off your excess. It's very important, because if not, you're gonna go in and you're just gonna glob up, create a big old blob, and nobody wants that, right? So tap off your excess, create a really quick wood grain. See how easy and simple that is? We're not done, because we're trying to not be so cartoony. Oh God, I have an itch. I'm gonna go in with some of the burnt sienna and some brown, mix that together, watered down, same shading technique. And we're gonna go just above the black line to further deepen that in. Quick and easy, right? It's like stuff that you don't think you could maybe do. It's like, oh, that was a lot faster. 2 minutes and you're done. Work smarter, not harder. Hey, bud.
Hi.
Hi.
I just saw Goofy falling the big city, and but Manny goes away.
He went away?
No, Manny's clothes ran away.
Her clothes ran away.
Yeah, and it was on Goofy.
It was on Goofy?
And Mickey and Donald.
And Mickey and Donald?
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Pluto and Mickey.
He's got his little sick voice. He's so congested right now.
Hey, this is mine.
I know.
I want to go to this.
All right. So, grabbing some brown. I don't know why I'm doing that over there. Grabbing some brown, regular brown, and just a smidge of black. Where are the crayons?
I don't know where they are, but I will find
Okay, baby, they should be on your table.
Table?
Yes, on your table in your playroom. I'm almost done, okay? And then we can snuggle. All right.
Mom,
Yes.
okay,
Okay, I may have to pause to go fix this crayon crisis. Again. And I'm just gonna shade down here. This is chaos, right? It's always chaos here. The babies are needing something, or the dogs are needing something. We're just shading down with that brown and black mixture. And I might even bring it up a little bit. But I'm gonna wait for this to dry just a smidge. All right. I'm gonna flip this around. Almost done, guys. Black and brown mix. And I'm just gonna lightly, very watered down, shade the bottom of this pumpkin. Wipe off the excess water, excess paint. Get rid of those harsh lines. I mean, this section is pretty dark anyway, so I don't really think I need too much shading there. Get rid of excess lines. See, I still have color on my brush, so I'm gonna make sure that it's clean, so that I'm just using the water, no pigment, to drag that shading back up. Okay, what do you guys think? Hey, Stevie. I'm surprised to see you here. I'm glad, though. Yeah, that mom life is rough, man. This is why I never do tutorials when my husband's not home. Honestly, though, he's a really good kid. All my kids are really good kids. Well, I feel like every mom says that, but I mean, I thought that he was going to be a little bit more needy, but he's not. So, yeah, so I'm going to paint the sides of my rock while this dries. So you guys know I love a clean finish. Except it's kind of crappy because sometimes when I'm like, when I'm sanding the edges, obviously, because, you know, I use 2-part resin, so it pulls around the bottom. So it'll chip some of it off, some of the black off. But that's okay. This is just the sides, right? Obviously, the fun part comes next, which is the shimmer. The shimmer. All right. So I'm going to sign my name, my little initials. All right. I'm going to put my little paints away. I'm so excited. Hold on. Let me make sure that I got everything, right? So I got the pumpkin, I got the stem, I got the shading, I got the outline. I guess if you want it, I'm going to clean this up a little bit because look at that little corner. I don't like that. I'm just going in with white. Just white. Clean up my edge. Okay. And I might add a little bit more white up here too. Sorry, I said I was almost done and then I start to nitpick my paintings and I'm like, ugh. Add more texture. Ta-da. All right, done. So put the paint away and start to get ready for the shimmer. All of the fun stuff. So, obviously, I'm gonna be using some of the jelly gelatos. Have you guys gotten them yet? Tell me you have, so that we can all paint together. Gonna grab the pineapple one. Obviously, maybe some, I kind of like this pumpkin rage, but I just want to use it all. So this is where I'm gonna run into some issues, because I really just want to use all of my Wonder products, but I obviously can't. I might use this. I haven't decided yet. There's also Coral Glam is also a really good option if you haven't. I'm just gonna put all the options here so that you guys can see them and you can be like, okay, I can see that working here. Jara Honey is probably what I'm gonna use for the back. This was in the B kit. Look at how pretty that is. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect for the background. And then I may use some opalescent gold. Let me look for that up here. But I just used it yesterday. Where did it go? Where do you go? Dun, dun, dun. Where do you go? I wanna know. Okay. Don't you guys hate that? Like, you're looking for a specific paint, and then that paint just up and decides it wants to like walk out of your life and never be seen or heard from again. Where is my opalescent gold? Hello? Where did you go? This is crazy. I just used it yesterday. I feel like it's here. And it's staring. It literally was. It was staring me right in the face. Okay. Alright, opalescent gold. And then I do think I may end up using also, hold on, let me use the other one. Let me find the other one. There's just so many good ones. Hollow Swirl is also a really, really good choice that I might actually use over opalescent gold. I just gotta shake it up a little bit. Diamond Dust, good option. I'm just trying to throw options out there for y'all so that you can see, get a visual. What else? I think that's it. All right, Hollow Swirl. I can't with this. Look at how so good. It's like the like pumpkin spice of holographic glitter, if that makes sense, because it's got like a little bit of like an orange brown twang to it. Really good. Okay, so I got cold all of a sudden. Let's start with some orange mango, and I'm just gonna leave a little bit. Is it clogged? Don't forget that to use your little uncloggers. Got my stuff. Thanks, Wanda. What are y'all doing tonight for live? Don't forget, Wanda and Katie are going live. Wow, I don't know. I may have put my foot in my mouth. I mean, it's Wednesday. They usually go live on Wednesdays, so I'm hoping that I'm not pressuring y'all. What are y'all doing for live tonight? Okay, so I'm gonna add some highlights, make it sort of glow. I feel like I should do this at an angle so that you guys could see. Can I film from an angle? There you go. Oh, it says rotate your phone. Never mind. I don't want to rotate my phone. Okay. So sometimes you can't really see the glow when you're like looking at it head on, but it makes a difference. And I love these because they have the iridescence without taking away from the actual paint colors that are underneath it. You know what I mean? Oh, I forgot. I need to get this one. Also in the Jelly Gelato set. This poor fella's about to lose his little cap. So that's the one I'm going to use over here on the side. And then maybe we want to add a little bit of glow here. Maybe you want to, oh, where's your fur brush? Grab your little scruffy brushes if you have them. My favorites from the Wanda shop. I'm just going to use it to kind of scrub it out. I'm almost done, buddy. Look. What color is this?
I don't know.
This one.
Orange.
Orange. Good job. Oh, you're so smart, Titi.
Hey, don't draw on this.
You don't want me to draw on it?
No,
Why?
I don't want you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me?
I'm also doing another thing. Another thing to eat.
You want something to eat? What do you want to eat?
Chips.
You want chips? How about some pretzels?
No. I don't want to eat pretzels. I want to eat chips.
Ooh, okay. So you might witness a little terrible threes tantrum. Leave Bruno alone.
He's so cute. The dogs are so cute.
Are they?
Yeah. Wait, doesn't do that.
No, I'm unclogging the yellow. What color? Oh, I already told you. It's yellow.
Oh, yeah, it's yellow.
Where should we put the yellow? We're going to put the yellow where the light would hit it so that it really gives it such a pretty glow. Huh, buddy? I know, I'm trying to give him some healthy snacks, Anita, and he's fighting me.
Hey, where's the other one?
What other one?
Where's all the others? What you did with that? Where is it?
What, this color?
No, the old things.
Oh, my paint. It's right here. It's right here, but Mommy's not using it right now. Because
Don't use that.
I'm using shimmer right now. I'm trying to add some shimmer to it.
Can I have some chips, please?
Yes, baby. Can you give me 2 minutes?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having some patience.
Hey, this guy's so cute. The dogs are so cute.
Are they?
Yeah, and they're so special.
They're so special.
And I like them. They're so nice.
Oh.
There you go.
He's like, they're so nice, and then he proceeds to like try to ride Bruno like a horse. He's a tank, bro. He's like, he's a little hefty dude. Are you playing rope with Bruno?
Yeah. And he's strong.
He's strong. What about you? Are you strong?
Yeah, I'm strong like Bruno. But he's so nice.
What?
Go, boy.
Oh my god, I said I was gonna give him chips right now. Hold on.
I don't.
Hold on.
Oh,
Bruno, go fight with Luna outside. Before you start with your shenanigans for the day, Bruno. I'm going, buddy. I'm going. Give me 30 more seconds, okay? And then I'm gonna go get you some chips, and then I'm gonna finish this painting up.
Hey, I'm going very fast. I'm going very fast working.
Oh, I think this already had some glitter on it. It sure did.
Fast for Bruno and very slow for him.
Okay. All right, let's go get you some chips. Don't judge me because I'm giving my child chips so that I can finish this tutorial. All right, hold on, pause. All right, let's go, big guy. Here you go.
I got this chip.
Yeah, those are called Doritos.
Doritos?
Doritos.
These are not.
Those are not?
No.
Okay. Those are Doritos. Okay, so I am also going to grab some of that. Hold on, I need like a smaller scruffy brush. This is perfect. This is one of my blending brushes from Wanda's shop. And I'm gonna mix the yellow and the orange from the Jelly Gelatos. I'm gonna go outside the pumpkin. And I'm gonna mix it in with this, what's it called? The Dara Honey. I'm gonna tap them from the top. Use a circular motion, blend it out. Really give it that glow. See if you can see it from the angle. It's very slight. And then as I start to move this way, I'm going to incorporate some more glow. The Pacific Blue. I love these. I'm so glad that they're back in stock. They just bring all of my stuff to life. I can't handle it. So let me show you guys. Hold on. Oh. Let me try to raise the brightness. See if that helps. It'll probably help a lot more when this top portion of it dries off. All right, so I'm also going to add, obviously I'm gonna, like always, overdo the glitter, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care if you're sitting at home and you're like, she uses too much glitter. Like, I don't care. It makes me happy. It makes my art happy. Maybe a Bulletin Gold would have been better for this part. What the heck? Why not use both, right? I put way too much over here. All right, and then for the final, we shake this up. I don't know if I want to use the Pumpkin Rage or the Pumpkin Guts, because they're two different ones. One is lighter than the other. I might use this one. One is from last year's Halloween, and it has more of a yellow golden glow, and this one is more orange, like pigmented wise. Honestly, like glitter, any type of application with these blending brushes has been just, this is a star from Lumina, Pink Lumina. These brushes just make blending and just life in general so much better. I love these brushes. You guys, okay. I'm gonna try to dry this up quickly because I feel like you can see the shimmer more when it's dry. Hold on. Okay, so for the most part, it's dry except for this little patch right here. But I mean, that shimmer is just so pretty. You see it glow and sparkle with the resin. That hollow. Man, why does my phone like never capture it the way that it is in person? Okay, we're done, guys. Thank you for sticking it out with me if you did. If you guys paint it, please tag me, let me know. I'm gonna work on uploading the tutorials right now to YouTube so that you guys can share, invite people, spread the word, because your girl is trying to get her subscribers up on YouTube. Invite people to the group if they don't have YouTube. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I will post the final picture. Please let me know if you guys paint along. I would love to see what y'all do with this little pumpkin kitty. And that is all. I'm out. Diana's clocking out. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your week. Stay tuned. Don't forget that I may or may not be popping in and out these next couple of days because what the heck was that? Because we just we're so close to the finish line with this graduation. Like, this has like green shift with like orange. It's just like the prettiest thing. This Jara honey. There you go. Oh, can you see it? Oh, that's so pretty. I can't stand it. I wonder if you can see it better with without the light. Anyway, regardless, have a good rest of your day, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.